crazy story. Now, a lot of my stories about drugs, but this one isn't. In 2003, I lived in Oklahoma. I was staying with some people from my church while I was trying to get off drugs, actually. And they had a pond behind their place. And, well, I've been fishing since I was a kid, and I love to fish. And it was winter time, and it was about 6 degrees out. And I noticed that fish were coming up. You know, the whole pond was iced over, but fish were coming up and looked like they were picking stuff out of the bottom of the ice. So I got the brilliant idea that, hey, well, I'll get the canoe, use the canoe to break the ice, and then go fishing. Because it was one of those days where I was bored and was looking for something to do, and it seemed like a good idea at the time. So I launched the canoe into the water, and I'd paddle onto the ice, and I'd slide up on it, and it would break, or even in some cases it was sliding under other ice flows, and I was doing that. Well, I'd cleaned out a huge area, probably 20-30 feet in diameter, and actually it's probably a little more than that, but I got this whole area cleared out, and I was still breaking a little more, and I started paddling. What I was doing is I would back up and then paddle up onto the ice, and then the ice would break, and then I'd come back, and then I'd just keep going back and forth onto the ice and breaking it. Well, at one point I'm doing that, and I'm coming up on the ice, and I paddled too much on one side, and the canoe kind of hit it at an angle. Well, it dumped the canoe. So I fall into this freezing water. Well, the canoe sinks almost immediately. I mean, it went down like the Titanic. Well, it went down way faster than the Titanic. But, so, it goes into the water, and I'm trying to grab up on the ice and slide myself onto the ice. And every time I do that, of course, the ice just breaks, because it was only about an inch thick, so it wasn't strong enough to support my weight. So I keep doing that, and I look back, and I'm thinking, shit, maybe I should try to swim back to the dock, which was a pretty good little swim. But I was feeling that my strength was being sapped really, really fast. So I said, screw it. I dive under the ice, and I was actually closer to the far bank. So that's exactly what I did. I dove under the ice and swam under the ice to the bank that I was closest to, and popped my way up through the ice. When I got close to the shore, I just stood up and used the trees that were right there on the far bank and pulled myself up out of the water. And I laid there for a little while. And I realized I was wearing jeans, thermal underwear, full body thermal underwear, work boots, steel-toed work boots, my leather, this leather right here, still looks good. It was stinky for a couple of years, but it's all gone now. And, so I had a lot of weight on me. But anyway, pulled myself up. I'm laying on the bank, and I realized, if I lay here any longer, I'm gonna die of hypothermia. So I get up, and I start walking around the pond and across the bridge, and I walk by the shop, and the guy I was staying with, he's like, he kind of laughed. Yeah, you fell in the pond. He had just seen that my jeans were wet. He didn't realize I'd gone all the way in. And like I said, it was 6 degrees outside. So I walk down the road and up onto the porch of the trailer, and I start taking my clothes off. And as I'm taking it, I can feel crunching and crackling. It's because my clothes were starting to freeze. There was ice all over my stuff. I take all my clothes off, walk into the bathroom, and turn the cold water on, which actually felt kind of warm. And slowly I got in the bathtub and laid there and kept adding a little bit of warm water, and did that until I was warmed up enough. And then I went and got in bed and slept for about 3 hours. But, and then after that, of course, I called all my friends and was like, God, I came real close to dying, this, that, and the other. And I kind of knew that my friends would never believe that, someone like me, I was a strong ocean swimmer. Well, I was a good ocean swimmer, not strong. I was a surfer for years. But, I knew all my friends back in California, there's no way they were going to believe that I died in a pond in Oklahoma. So, I went and called and told them everything that happened. It was one of those crazy experiences. So, and here's the actual satellite view of the place. So this is the actual pond that I almost drowned in. Here's the canoe that I was using. Here's the dock I was launched from, and actually the whole area used to be filled with water. It obviously isn't anymore. But there it is. So thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, like, whatever. Don't if you don't want to. But y'all take care and have a good one. Laters.